Hello and welcome to a Build with Bear bonus stream. I'm Pat Bear. I'm here to do something that's not model kit building. But first, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in chat, and I would like you to do that as well. If you're not a subscriber yet, you can use other people's emotes, or you could just be a lurker and not say anything. That's okay. You can just say hi if you don't feel like putting emotes in there. But also, if you are currently a subscriber, you should throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote in chat, because we want to thank Chris Weed for subscribing for 22 months. That's so many months. Thank you very much, Chris. So also people can throw the, if you were a subscriber, you can throw them in there to thank Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. Chris Weed Piano. For that, I appreciate it. Throw those emotes in the chat. So what's happening? What's going on, Pat? You're not building model kits tonight? No. I don't build model kits on Tuesdays. I do something that is unrelated. Hello, Lord Creston. Welcome, welcome. So tonight, we're going to be going back into the world of PowerWash Simulator. Specifically, we are going in to work on the DLC for the Warhammer 40K stuff. The final ship. I am like 60% done with it, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So I thought this would be a fun stream where I could do that. We could hang out. We could chat about some stuff. It'll be real easy and like low pressure. And I just kind of want that. It'll be the last gaming stream of the month. And I thought that would be fun to do. So we're going to do that. I should also say, exclamation point tip. This is not something you have to do. But if you like what I do here, and you just want to throw me a couple bones, there's a link to my PayPal in there. You could do that. You don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could. And I put the easier PayPal me, because paypal.me/itspatbear sometimes redirects weirdly, but paypal.com/PayPal me/itspatbear works every time. So there you go. But that is not something you got to do, but if you want to do, you could. The tip jar is just something I'm mentioning now because I had to put a lot of my own money and then raised money into some dental stuff, and I am broke. Real broke. So I thought I'd pop that in there. Again, don't have to worry about it, but if you wanted to, you could. Let's get this game loaded up. We're gonna power wash some stuff. Got a big ship that needs power washing, and I have done a lot of it, but we want to get more of it in there. Let's go to that. Go here. There we go. Okay, we're good. So we are going into the special section, DLC. You can see we got the seasonal stuff, Tomb Raider, Midgar, so that is the Final Fantasy VII stuff, SpongeBob SquarePants, Back to the Future, and then Warhammer 40,000. And you can see I have done, I don't know, I did this, I'm at 100%, but for whatever reason, I think I have to go back in there and then this will fill up, but it looks like I didn't do all of the seasonal stuff, but I did. I don't know. I'm annoyed by that. That annoys me. I don't know. I don't think I can fix that though, but it annoys me. But anyway, you can see almost done with the Warhammer. You can see we can continue there. I could restart it, which would be a nightmare. Just so you can see what the 4 of the 5 that we have completed for Warhammer: the Land Raider, the Redemptor Dreadnought, the Imperial Knight Paladin, very cool robot to power wash, and the Rogel Dorn Battle Tank. So I completed all those, and we're in the temple. But we're going to continue with the Thunderhawk, which is the last thing that I need to work on here. 64%. So we got more to do. And unfortunately, we don't get the very cool attachment for this set of jobs. So I don't get the last thing you can buy in the game. We don't have that, unfortunately. So we are a little limited. I don't know if that's to like extend things, because that tri-nozzle kind of makes a lot of things irrelevant, but it would be nice to have. Let's see. Oh yeah, well good. We're getting some noise. So you can see here, This is Blood Angels. I have completed. I basically did everything underneath this thing, I believe. And there's some stuff on the sides I haven't done yet. And the top still needs a lot of washing. And then a lot of the wings, the main wings and stuff, need washing. But I believe, other than parts of the wings, all of this undercarriage, I believe I have done. And I have done a good portion of the sides, but not all of it. And we got our scaffolding, our big scaffolding. And I think I'm just going to... We're going to get on top of this thing and do some stuff up there. I'm going to jump around a lot while doing this because that I find that fun. It kind of breaks up the monotony of the power washing. Like I could do this here. I might do that. Just kind of wash some of the stuff here. I am covering up... hold on one second. Let me... there I am. Put me there. Yeah. I am covering up the, like, what nozzle I am using. Because I think that's better than covering up, like, me crouching and all that. But yeah, I'm going to just do this because I'm here. Well, I got a little piece done. They do break these up pretty well, so you can kind of tackle little jobs, get little jobs done. This is going to be a nightmare when I only have like a couple things left to do and I don't know which one to do here. Like that's going to be a real pain in the ass is when I'm like trying to find like the percentage of like some plain term that I don't know. And I'm like, rear fuselage, I don't know where that is. It's on the rear. All right, I'll go there. And just like that kind of thing. That's going to be annoying. But right now, pretty straightforward. All right, we're gonna jump. Whoop, we jumped. And then there's the wing. You can lift the wing, which is pretty cool. And we'll get in there later. But I want to climb up here, see what else we need to do here on this. And then on the top left, if you can see that the upper vertical stabilizer is not done yet, so we can get some of that done. I'm just going to go on this here. So we can kind of see, all right, yeah, you can see where there's some of this that needs to get done. And then we can kind of just try to get this taken care of here. Theoretically, we would get this as close as possible and stand on that. But I much prefer to just... I really like climbing on stuff in order to clean things and not using the scaffolding. This is disgusting mech cleaning-wise, which I suppose is the point. Yes, this is a very dirty, big battleship, spaceship that had some sort of incident. But in true fashion that fits in with the lore, we don't know exactly with the Space Marines what happened. We're not quite sure because a lot of it has been redacted for heresy. Because mentioning that certain things exist is heresy in the world of Warhammer. So, all right. You can see there's some stuff that needs to get cleaned up there. So we probably will need to use the scaffolding to get up to this top part. But I didn't want to use it if I don't have to. And I'm hitting the tab button and it's telling me what's still dirty. So I can kind of clean what I need to. Yeah, I'm just hitting the tab button and just cleaning some stuff. Power washing. I know that some folks are like, it's so weird. The DLC is so weird because it's like you're a guy that or a gal or a non-binary friend who power washes houses and vehicles, and it's so weird to jump from that to being like, you're in Warhammer. And I'm like, yeah, but also the regular game gets fucking wild. There are segments of that game that get weird as hell. So the regular game has some wild shit that you are cleaning. It's not much of a stretch to go from that to being like, yeah, and then, I don't know, a different version of you in another lifetime cleaned stuff on the movie set for the Back to the Future franchise and got hired by the butler of Lara Croft to power wash some of her stuff. It's like, yeah, okay. Sure. I buy that. Alright, I think we are going to have to use the scaffolding to get up high on some of this, because we're not going to get it from here. Unless, can I? Oh, I can kind of do it. So if I do from the wing, if I pick the farthest, or no, not that, the farthest extension, can I wash that from here? I can. Excellent. Now I don't have to set the scaffolding up. I can just shoot it from way over here. Kind of. Not really. I really should just get on the scaffolding and not be difficult. Jump. There we go. There we go. Get all the way to the... Oops. Sometimes the scaffolding, not great. Getting around on the scaffolding. Not the best. Okay, so I guess I can move closer, but I can kind of hit it from here. Okay, so we got the upper vertical stabilizer, and then this is the stabilizer tip, so they're different things. Which makes sense. All right, let's jump down here, but look up, because otherwise I'll start to feel nauseous. Can I put that there? Can I put that there? How close can I get this thing? Can I get this thing close at all? There, I can get it that close. Let's see if that's close enough to reach where we need to reach. And then we got to go all the way up. But eventually I'll complete a segment and then jump around and find another segment. Okay. Like from here, I can do this stuff. Turn that over. Then hit C. So this is letting me get a lot of stuff I couldn't get before. So that's good. Oh, good. I finished the upper stabilizer. And then the rudder is now done as well. And then that's all good. So then I just got to get the tip done. So I can go here. Oops. I don't need to do that. It's fine. Okay, yeah. So now I can see I got to get all up in there. Because this is probably the closest I can get. Yeah, I might be able to maneuver it a little closer, but I don't expect to get much closer. Unless I can, like, get a ladder up there and then set up that ladder. That's possible. Maybe I can do that. Because we do have some ladders. But I wonder. I set up a ladder here. And can I take another ladder up with me? Go up this ladder. Oh. Sneak over here. I can't jump holding the ladder. There you go. That's what I want to do. I want to put the ladder there. So how do I get near there enough to... That's what I want to put. I want to put a ladder there. But I have to get close to that ladder. Can I climb here? Yes, I can. Somehow I am able to climb this scaffolding while holding a ladder, which seems impossible. This does not seem reasonable at any bit. Oh, but I'm on the shorter one. Okay, so that's not going to work. I got to get on this step. I got to get on this scaffolding. Here. 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 I need to make the blue lights of where you can put a step ladder or a work ladder. I need to get close enough so I can turn a blue light into a... There we go. Okay, there it is. That's what I need to do. Great. Now I can get up here. And then I need to switch to the stubby gun. Lets me do close-up stuff. And now I'm up here and I can clean a bunch of stuff I couldn't before, and I finished stabilizer. So that was a lot of nonsense just to be able to do that one little section, but having the step ladder up here is actually really helpful. Because now I can get some places. I can get up in here without it being a problem. And we can work on the turbo laser destructor. Which is the... so you can see, hitting the tab button, I can see a bunch of dirt. Sometimes you gotta rely on the tab button to highlight what you need to clean because you're cleaning something dark and the lighting isn't great, and so you're just gonna have to do your best. Because most of this hangar is, well, it's a temple, so even though it's a hangar, it's also a temple, so a lot of it is lit by fucking candles. A lot of candles on this thing. Okay, I got that clean. That's fun. Oh, this is the armor, so I can get some of the armor cleaned. But yeah, I did this whole thing back there, and that was like no percentage went up because this is such a big vehicle that like there's still so much left to do on it, which is fine. It happens. I thought this would be a fun stream. Just kind of get this done. This game is often my podcast game. I did, when this DLC came out, I did stream it. Some of the earlier stages. I'd finished the first thing of this, like the first washing item. And then most of it I was like, oh, I'll do it on stream. And then when I finished that stream, I just kind of did it in my own time because PowerWash Simulator for me is a podcasting game. I definitely love listening to podcasts while doing this. It is great for that. Just relaxing with the podcast and getting some washing done because it is very satisfying. Now, when you're at like 99% and you can't figure out what part of the one thing you need to wash and you just can't get it, it can be a frustrating game, but the other 99% of the washing is just chill and cool and fun. And I like that. All right, so I've gotten most of the underneath of this big cannon here. I think the rest of it is probably on the top at weird angles. So with the tab button, oh, there's some stuff here. You can see that. Oh, some stuff in there. Okay. Oh, some stuff down there. Let's drop down a little bit. There you go. There it is. Well, this is just the armor here. That's separate. Okay. Oops. Go. And so there's that thing where I'm like, okay, so what part of the destructor have I not cleaned that I'm missing? Because it's like, oh, there's little fragments here and there that I've missed. It can be forgiving. It wasn't as forgiving at first. They definitely boosted the forgiveness of this thing as time went on and made it a little easier to get in there and clean stuff. Be close to it. This is such a large ship to clean, so I just started having it highlight parts to make it more manageable. Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. I could pick like a air brake here. Like I'm 92% done with the air brake. So I could just hit the air brake and it would like show me that and then I would just clean the whole thing. That is a strategy. That's often, Lord Crashing, my strategy when I'm like okay, what's left for me to do? And I'll just pick an object and go and find it. But yeah, you can see that. I've just been kind of doing like sections. Like I wanted to get the underneath done. And so I went and did everything I could with the underneath. Like that was a important milestone. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll work on this part. And I'll work on that part and get it done. I've been doing the top of this. I'm trying to get this turbo laser destructor done. But now I'm like, okay, what part of the turbo laser destructoid, or destructor, not destructoid, have I not cleaned? Because it's all just one big thing. All right, I think I'm getting all of that. If they were to do a Gundam pack, what 5 jobs would you pick among mechs, vehicles, and locales they should feature? I would say you've obviously, Lord Crashington, you've got to do the Granddad. You got to do an RX-782. You've got to wash an RX-782. I think that is a no-brainer. I think you do all vehicles. You don't do and mechs. You don't do any locations. I would say your opening thing should be like a ball, because that is a fun thing. It would be fun to power wash, because the thing is, like, Gundam is such a big thing that you could just do all of them, or you could just do original Gundam. You could do the timeline, or you could do a bunch of bullshit. And I'm not sure exactly what's the smarter way to go. But yeah, Ball, RX-782. I think all the unicorns and stuff would be a pain in the ass. Look, if I'm picking, I actually don't think the Death Scythe would be the most fun to power wash. I love the Death Scythe, don't get me wrong, but it's so black that I think it wouldn't be fun. I actually think like the Tall Geese 3 maybe would be the way to go, or the Epion, and you start unveiling the beautiful maroon. Or I guess if you wanted to be like the Tall Geese 2, or no, you know what it would be? It would be like the Wing Zero. The Wing Zero was in storage. So the Wing Zero would be fun to like get out of mothballs and need to clean. That could be fun. I mean, the Sandrock is probably the filthiest Gundam in Gundam Wing because it's in the desert area. So I guess that would be pretty filthy. I think the hardest one, the last one, which is often the hardest in these packs, not always, but it often is the one that's tough. So yeah, I can't. Now I'm just like cleaning at nothing because I don't know what spec or section of this thing I haven't cleaned yet. I just know that something hasn't been cleaned here. So now I'm just hitting tab as I look. But I think the hardest thing, Lord Crashington, would, like the most difficult last one would be the God or the Devil Gundam. You got to build the Devil Gundam or the Dark Gundam if you're G Gundam dub only. But yeah, I think that would be the most difficult thing to power wash, and would be very funny to power wash. All right, I'm going to try to get up on top of this again, and we can see if I can figure out what still needs to be cleaned on this goddamn thing. What's up with this turbo laser? Oh, there we go. Wait. Oh, shit. You know what it was? It was stuff on the side that I couldn't see right. Okay, we're done. We finished the turbo laser destructor, and we went up 1 percentage point, and that's great. So we can do some flight deck armor. We try to wash this thing. Finish this thing. The attack wing hinge and mount. Get in there. Yeah, so I think I would say you do original, you do some wing, maybe you do a demi trainer, because I think that would be kind of fun. That might be kind of neat if you do that. If you're going to do something from the most recent Gundam series, you're going to get into Witcher Mercury. Maybe you want to do that. I don't know. And then I guess you also would probably want a Zaku. You'd probably want to power wash a Zaku. Like a Zaku 2, like a green Zaku 2, maybe. Or red, you could do Char Zaku 2. You can see that. That could be something that needed to get power washed. Yeah. See that? Plenty of options. I was saying yesterday how Jurassic Park is the movie franchise tie-in that I would like them to have, because I think that would work really well. There's a lot of vehicles. You could do a skeleton of a dinosaur, something like that, like power wash some bones, maybe something like that. But I think there would be, like a lot of good vehicles in Jurassic Park to power wash. It'd be fun. They've already done Jeeps before, I think that would be a cool property. They were going to make that kind of brand deal. Because who knows how any of this works. Like, I don't know how you get SpongeBob and Back to the Future and Warhammer. They want you to do stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how those deals work. I know how Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy VII worked. That was because Square Enix was they were doing their indie publishing offshoot, of which Future Lab, who makes this game, used that. So Square Enix was their publisher. So that's how they got that working. Whoop. Come on. Let me up here. What are we doing? There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the other deals came out. Who they're working with to make those happen. But I saw in a discussion somewhere, people were talking about what about like Mad Max. That would have been a fun tie-in with Furiosa, because there's a lot of famous vehicles, and that would be fun to do. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be kind of neat. Kind of a neat thing. And then, of course, my classic answer is Persona, specifically Persona 4, because I would like to see them power wash various locations. Do the food court at Junes, do the shrine in the center of town for the Mysterious Fox. There are some locales that you could power wash. The Vespa, power wash the Vespa. Various things and things. The limo, of course, probably needs a good power washing. Margaret has asked you to power wash the limo. Yes, Chris, you're right. Every day is great there at your Junes. So yeah, there are a few things that you could power wash in the world, or just like, yeah, I don't know, a few locales that'll be fun to go in power wash. Hell, the main character, are a janitor if you want to be at the hospital, so you could power wash some stuff at the hospital. That would be fun. Get text messages from the flirty nurse to go and power wash something at the hospital. Help out the old lady by the power wash the dock. For Jurassic Park, says Lord Washington, I'd pick the visitor center, kitchen, or the entry area. Nedry's Jeep, the SUV that rides on the tracks, the lab, and the helicopter that rode in on. Yeah, the helicopter would be fun. Yeah, one of the Jeeps makes a lot of sense. The helicopter is a good shout. And it could be the helicopter that you rode in on. Like, that could be the first job is, hey, before we go to the island, can you clean up the helicopter that's going to take you there? And you got to do that, and then you end up on the island. And that's the introduction. Just kind of picking stuff willy-nilly. We are at 69%. Nice. So yeah, I'm just kind of hitting some of this stuff here. And then I'll hit tab to see what else needs to get done. Doing some the armor cap, which is not the same thing as this is the flight deck armor, fuselage armor. This is the flight deck armor. This is the cap. Filtration system. Just cleaning some whatevs. Yeah, of course you would have graffiti, but you'd also have sticky substances from some dinosaurs to clean up. You know, they'd run the gamut of a bunch of different things that need to get done. I don't know, I think that would be cool. Hell, if it was going to be Persona, it'd probably be Persona 5 because that's the most recent one. And I think that there'd be some locations and secret-based stuff they could do that would be fine. But as a Persona 4 fan, primarily, for that. And then people have talked about Fallout, like a section of a vault you could power wash. Like, oh, this section we never, you know. We need somebody to take care of this. And then like, hey, the fiends took over this place, and then we need somebody to come in and clean it up for us. We're going to turn this into a market. The Brotherhood of Steel would like you to power wash, you know, one of their bunkers. Okay. Like, sure, I'll do that kind of thing. That kind of silliness. Go. You got to power wash the nuclear bomb in Megaton. You know, whatever. I cleaned a lot of this up here. That's good. We'll pick another section in a hot minute here and go and hit that with a bunch of water. See how that goes. Drink a little water myself. Oh yeah, I haven't done much of any of this. Ooh, can I switch to green? Green get this up. Green can get this up. Okay, good. So I can get a little more water going. And then in crevices, I'll switch back to yellow. But if green could take up this stuff, it'll be a lot faster to get over a lot of areas here. Headlight armor is all of this. Okay. Okay. Canopy windows. Just hit all those while I'm here. Get that one? Yeah, I did. Okay. The canopy. All right. Great. Got that done. Excellent. Okay, got that done. Nice, making some progress. The ding noise is like, it's so nice to have the ding. 'Cause the ding is saying like, oh, you did it. You got that part done. Hell yeah, Pat. Good on you. That's just nice. Oops. Uh-oh, I'm going to fall all the way. I could feel it happening. I was like, oh, I'm going to fall completely off this. Ooh, go over here. Hell yeah. I'm back. I'm back over here where it will probably be... Oh, no, I fell off again. I flew too close to the sun, everyone. Whoop, whoop. Trying too many stats that are speed running. Not going to get me anywhere. I'm not a speed runner. Okay, if I stand here, I shouldn't fall off, but that means I'm going to have to stand. I'm standing too far back. So let me put an extender on here. Jan tweeted about getting an email to the Bombcast about Shop Goodwill link to them having 70 pounds of unsorted Pokemon cards and why they want to ruin his life. Yeah, that's... Yeah, you don't have to send somebody that shit. That's just like fun for you to know. Jan didn't need to know that. Nonsense. I did offer Jan some Pokemon cards 1 year because of Plastic Model Weekender. And hey, they made a ton of money. They broke their previous year's most raised, which is awesome. So they've raised more every year since they started doing it. But 1 year I had opened a pack of Japanese Pokemon cards, and then I was like, Jan, do you want any of these? And Jan did not want any of them. But those were like 5 cards, and I was going to mail them to him for free, as opposed to 70 pounds, which, like, not good. That feels like somebody who bought a lot of packs of cards looking for rares, and when they didn't get any, they didn't know what to do, and they just sat on them for so long that finally they're just like, fuck it, I don't care. Donate them. I'm not going to make any of this money back. I was looking for a winner. I did not get a winner, and it would take too much time to sort all of this and try to sell any of them, so let's just not sell any of them at all. That's my guess anyway. I don't know, obviously. But that would be my guess. Is they thought that they would, win big. Had to move. Yeah, maybe that was a moving, and it was just like, this is not worth it. Like, here's the thing: 70 pounds doesn't feel like that's my personal collection of my favorite Pokemon cards. That feels like somebody who was trying to flip them at one point, and realized it was worth enough to keep them somewhere as opposed to just throwing them away if they weren't like a holographic Charizard. But yeah, they just got ahead of them. Yeah, 70 pounds feels like too much for like a personal collection. But who knows? But yeah, I don't want any of that smoke. Don't tell me about like model kit like, oh, it's 700 model kits or something like that on Goodwill. Unopened bottle kits, so like somebody donated a warehouse or donated a storage unit and they don't know what any of this thing is. I don't need that. I couldn't afford it, but I certainly don't need to think about it. Couldn't do anything cool. I don't get to do much cool stuff these days because I am underemployed, and the work stuff that I am doing doesn't pay particularly great, and a lot of that has dried up. So 30 pallets of Gunpla. Yes, I don't need any pallets of Gunpla. But yeah, I don't buy cool I buy cool stuff for the work that I do more than anything else. I don't buy like, well, somebody was just like, oh, hey, do you see the new Dragon Ball action figures, the new figure arts? And I was like, yes, I did see them. I have no room in my life these days for figures. I can't go on and buy a cool figure. That's just not in the cards for me right now. I have in the past collected figures, at least stuff I liked. Not like I didn't try to do collections or anything like that, but I have in my lifetime certainly held on to a few things here and there that were action figures. I like some action figures now and again. But like I wasn't collecting them, but I was buying Transformers for quite some time in my life, and then also Batman the Animated Series figures. I was buying those now and again, and occasionally a Simpsons figure if I really want to. But I don't have disposable income that can go to that. Money right now goes into model kit. Money right now goes into bills, and then model kits and video games. And those video games are games that I would play on stream, and those model kits are built on stream, and that's about where I'm at. I don't have much options beside that. I don't really have room in my life for anything else. Lord Crash says, I do have a couple of plastic tubs of baseball cards and such that my parents placed that I collected from the early 90s. Nice. Yeah. I mean, I didn't collect cards. I had a few cards here and there. My comic book collection is pretty much all gone at this point. I had a decent collection of 90s and 2000s stuff. I kind of rebuilt some of my collection that I lost in a house fire. So I rebought a lot of stuff. But like my complete first run of the first series of Wildcats, I have not had that in many years. I sold that even before I moved because it was a big fucking box that I had to move a couple times. And before I moved into the place that I lived in Brooklyn, which was my last apartment, and it was my apartment for a number of years, before I lived in that place, I lived in a new place every year for like 8 years. Something like, it was 7 apartments in 6 years. That's what I used to say, because there was 1 year where I lived in 2 different places. So a big box of comics just was unwieldy. So I ended up selling that. I sold most of my comics. I still have some Invaders. Not some Invaders. I have all of the extra stuff from Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, like I Feel Sick 1 and 2, which weren't getting reprinted because the people that did it originally like were pretty much going out of business, slave labor comics. And so they weren't going to really do reprints. Those are still actually kind of worth some money because they're both first editions, first printing, I should say. So those are actually worth a little bit of money. That's in storage. And I think I have a few other comics here and there that have sentimental value, but I got rid of a lot of comics when the time was right to get rid of a lot of comics. And then especially when I was moving things to the storage unit, there were just things that I did not want to keep because I couldn't 100% figure out exactly how much room I was going to have in that storage unit. Turns out I still have room in there, but I wanted to be very particular about what was going in there and making sure that I had everything I needed. All right. Just working on the nose armor belt here. Because we did, and the nose armor. It's probably the sides, because it looks like everything here I have done. So it's probably, yeah, it's this section, this side section here. So let's do that over here. Yeah, this is the nose armor. Well, that's not the nose, that's the side. The side sponson. You know, the side sponson. Yeah, we're going to try to get the nose armor done here. We'll climb all the way up. See what we can do here. This is different. This is the canard wing mount. Yeah, we don't want the canard wing or the side armor. We want the nose armor belt and the nose armor. That is what we're cleaning right now. Oop. Let's see. We can just switch to high extension here, then to that, and then this is the access ramp hinge. So that's different. Bobby's here. He says, hey, Pat, how do you choose which anime series you're going to watch? That's a great question, Bobby. So there are a few things that go into those decisions. So there's two types of anime that I watch. There are shows that I watch for streams. These are things that I am recapping every episode of as they air, or as close to as they air as possible, in the second hour of a stream. And then there's stuff that's for me. That became kind of important in my life here, to have stuff like, I monetized all of my hobbies and content-devised all of my hobbies. So what I end up doing is I do some stuff for me. Now, that doesn't include model kits and Lego sets, because I don't have the means to do that. But anime, there's some anime that, like, I'll talk about at the end of the season, but I don't talk week to week. I just kind of watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it. Oh, okay. That's why this isn't working. I had the wrong nozzle on here. There we go. So I kind of look at it like that. In the same way, there is video games that are just for me. Like, I have never streamed a moment of Hitman. I play a lot of Hitman. Not for a while, because I ran out of content that I want to do, but I never played any of Freelancer on stream, because that's a game that's just for me. So I kind of factor that in, like, is this a show that I want to be talking about weekly because there's something interesting about it? I am less likely to talk about a show in its second, third, or fourth, or whatever season, unless there are other people, interested in talking about that. So maybe, but as the seasons go on, it becomes less interesting to me to talk about a show. Like, I don't think I would cover Laid Back Camp Season 3. Like, that doesn't feel like a show that I would cover week to week, even though I love Laid Back Camp. Or when we get more Spy Family, I probably won't cover Spy Family week to week, unless I'm really engaged with it and really want to talk about it. Because I have done that in the past, but, like, I don't think anybody who was watching my... Well, there were some people, but I don't think a lot of people who were watching my streams had any interest in Kaguya-sama. Like, I think there were maybe a couple people, but, like, it's hard for me to talk about, like, late end seasons of Kaguya-sama when, like, if partial or a good chunk of my audience has never watched a single episode. Whereas if it's the first season of a show, I think that's more interesting to talk about. And then I kind of just pick stuff that I think would be interesting to chat about. I'm watching two shonen this season, Kaiju 8 and what other ones? Oh yeah, I'm watching Kaiju 8 and Windbreaker. And I think, like, those are kind of fun, interesting shows. They're doing different things. They're both kind of almost throwback shonen in a way, because the main characters are good guys, but they're not, like, uber goody goodies. Like, especially Sakura. Sakura and Windbreaker feels like a real throwback to, like, 90s shonen protagonists, or maybe 2000s shonen protagonists, because, like, he's a guy that settles things with his fists, but it's very clear that he didn't always want to be that guy, and now he's becoming that guy through circumstance, and that's very shonen of that era. So that's kind of fun. So it's like, those are fun to talk about. I don't know if anybody would be talking about, like, Whisper Me a Love Song, or many voices of, or sorry, many faces of. Why can't I remember the name of that anime? I literally talk about it every week. That's so annoying to me that I can't think of the name of this anime. the many sides of voice actor radio. The many sides of voice actor radio is just like a show I believe, like I feel like is under the radar and is cool. So like I want to talk about it. That's kind of where I come to these things. I start every season with a lot of anime that I end up dropping. I start with a lot of stuff, and sometimes I end up picking back up on my own. But like, Grandma and Grandpa Are Young Again is a show that I think is a very funny premise, and I was kind of interested in it. But then they introduced a character who, like, she can't figure out like how to deal with the fact that her grandpa is young and hot now, and like that's played for laughs, but it wasn't funny to me. It was like fucking weird, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do? Watch this anymore, because she came back again, and I was like, nah, I'm done. And maybe I'll go back to it, but I'm like, I don't want to. Or like Tonari, the yokai show. There's a yokai show that is sad and beautiful, and I think very good, but it's homework. Like the amount of prep I would have to do for every episode, it felt like, oh, I'm going to watch this on my own. I'm going to wait and read some companion pieces from some people. I'm going to like look at people who are doing the like, okay, so this character is this style of yokai, or this is from a Japanese fable. And there's just like, it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't have it in me to watch, to like talk about this particular show on stream. I think it's gorgeous and cool as hell, but I'm not up for it right now. So I guess the answer to your question is it really depends, and I don't have one. It has to be a show I want to watch. I've only watched one show since I started doing this, and hate is a strong word, but yeah, generally it has to be a show that I'm interested in watching myself, and I feel like would be interesting to cover on stream. Helk is the show that I really loved, and then it got to like the meat of the show, and I fell out of love with it, but I was determined to finish it because I was like, no, I'm pot committed now. I've been talking about this show every week for a double, because it was a double core. And I was like, no, I'm going to fucking finish this goddamn show, and I'm going to talk about it. Show about this goddamn goof who gets banished from the human realm, and he's like, I want to become the next demon lord so we can fight the humans. And the demons are like, all right, seems pretty cool. And then it's like, actually, this show is very sad, and everything that you liked about it, the funny stuff, that was just so you liked the characters, and now here's all the sad. And it was like, okay, but you don't really do that well. Like, you're not even being poignant. Like, what's the point of introducing all these characters to garner sympathy if you're just going to not even work, show those characters anymore? It's like, oh, I don't know. And we'll give you a little hints that this might be fun, but it's not. It's horribly tragic. God damn it, Helk. I wanted to love that show. The first couple episodes are so fucking fun. All right, I'm working on the flight deck armor here. Trying to get the flight deck armor finished. Oh, I fell off again. Keep falling off. Let's take this. Yeah, let's put it here. See if I can do that. I can just do this. The side hatch. There's so much left to do here. We're at 75% of this goddamn thing. And I was like, oh, we're almost done. I'll finish this tonight on stream. What a fool. I'm not going to stream this expansion again. Don't get me wrong. When I finish things up tonight, that'll be it. But I'll have to do it on my own at another time, because I'm not going to be able to get this done today. There will be a free content pack sometime. I believe seasonal stuff for the summer, And then there is more paid DLC that has not been announced what it is or when it's coming, so we don't know that stuff. Oh, I gotta get in crevices here. This might be something that I just have to get the scaffolding and blast it with water, or do every other part of this thing. And then when every other part of it is done, then be like, oh yeah, I did all that. Oh yeah, because I can just, no, this is what I wanted, flight deck armor. You know what I mean? Like if I get 99.99% of it, they'll just give it to me. So I can kind of just try to do that here. There we go. Like I said, flight deck armor done. Those little spots I couldn't get, just did it anyway. Oh yeah, number did not go up when I finished that. Go. Gotta get the chapter emblem cleaned up. Fucking, oh. There we go. There we go. Sometimes it feels like this game is pushing the limits of what they can do. Like, there's occasionally I just feel like, oh, well, I know I'm kind of cheesing this, but maybe they didn't expect anyone to do it this way, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes there's... you may remember, some people may remember from the first stream of this expansion, I think I was on the scaffolding while I tried to move the scaffolding, and it caused me to, like, fall through the world into space, and apparently I wasn't the only one that had done that. I was just like, yeah, feels like maybe that could have been figured out in testing, but... I don't know. Small team. Just didn't have the money or time to hire someone to play the game real weird. Like me. I want to play it real weird. I've never done this. I think I might in June. We might do a demo night. I don't think I've ever really done that on a Pat Bear bonus stream, but we are going to get Summer Games Fest coming in, and depending on like how long some of the demos are, I think that's been the thing is that like I see some games on Game Fest, Summer Game Fest. And I'm like, ooh, I should play that demo. And then, like, the next week I don't end up doing it. So maybe that Tuesday I'll do it. Although I think that Tuesday might be it. Whatever. I don't know. I gotta do the math and look it up. But I'm thinking I might do, like, a demo night. And we can try a bunch of games that have PC demos. Steam stuff. I don't know. I've never done that, and I was thinking that might be fun. See if there's any games that like interest me that I want to like go and check out. I don't know. Might not be a good idea, but I think it could be a good one. Could work out pretty good. Let's do this instead. Do the old stubs. Got to move the ladder because I can't clean where the ladder is. But yeah, I don't know. I had that in my head today that I was like, oh, that could be fun. That could be fun shenanigans if I get some demos. Try out a bunch of stuff. Usually I just end up downloading a bunch of demos myself and just playing them and then talking about them that week. But, if there's some stuff there. I'm not going to... all streams will be normal that week. I'm not going to do any watch-alongs or anything. Speaking of new games, I've been playing the new cat game while listening to you, and it's pretty good, says Chris. Oh, nice. Yeah. That game seemed fun. It seemed like it maybe needed a little bit more time in the oven because it was kind of like there were some definite like it needed a patch maybe, but I have heard very good things about it. Little Kitty Big City. But yeah, maybe you need a little more time in the oven on some of that stuff. Yeah, so that week, I mean, usually streams as normal. I now know that I am not going to stream the night of the Game Awards, or I will do a co-stream and watch the Game Awards and talk about it, but I am not going to do an alternative stream. Maybe it was just that random Thursday, but literally no one came to watch me model kit build. And that is, I can't tell you the last time that's happened, because even on my like lowest attended streams, there's always been like a couple people, but literally 0 people came for that stream. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this sucks. I did it for like an hour for nobody, hoping that people would come. And when they didn't, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to do this. My Tuesday streams, this one included, are often lower than my build streams as far as attendance goes. And that I totally understand, because not every people don't come to me exclusively for video game stuff, or I stream stuff that people aren't always particularly into. And I totally understand that. Even when I do my Hearthstone streams, I understand why some people will be like, no, I don't want to see that. I'll be like, yeah, I get it. I have to start thinking. But yeah, I think maybe I'll check out some Summer Games Fest stuff there and a few other things. John says, I came here to watch Pat spray down large spaceships and build Gunpla, and I don't see any Gunpla. Well, there you go. I do have that Electrician's game, the Electrician Simulator, that I got for free. That's an Epic Game Store, but I got that free through Twitch, and I have not played that yet. That's in my back pocket of games that I could check that out. Old games that maybe had a following, but nobody's thought of in a while. That aren't old, but they're like not the new hotness. I have a bit of a interest in those now and again. But the idea of a game that I already have and I don't have to buy is always enticing these days. Everyone wants to see those From Software games for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, Downtown CM Brown, people like From Software stuff. Good to hear, Chris, that you're not seeing anything weird there. Yeah, I mean, people look, I'm not chasing. I've never been a guy that chased hotness of games. The exception to that right now is that I played WWE 2K24. I got the early edition version of it with all the DLC baked in. And I got to play that game early. And so there were people on that stream that I assume came in because of that. That came in for that game. But that's the close to I'm playing this and I'm not playing that game just because it's new and I want to try to get people that look into the new games and are looking at categories. No, I play that because the WWE games have a really robust create a wrestler system, and you can get some real wild, weird shit, or just like really cool shit. And once you tweak the AI, it behaves in a very strange way. And I have the AI right now in a pretty good sweet spot for that game. It wasn't at first, but now it was at first, and then a patch came in that made the AI very bad at completing tasks other than pinfalls or submissions. Like climbing a ladder suddenly became a thing that they didn't want to do. So I've had to tweak the AI to make it work better. Or it'd be a tables match and they wouldn't want to set up tables, which is by default. So I had to change that up and it has gotten way more fun now that I've done that. But that's accidentally me playing something that some people were really interested in. For the most part, I just play the stuff that I want to play. Like my Pokemon randomizers. I have a lot of fun playing my Pokemon randomizers, but I know more people would watch my streams on Tuesday if I was playing a Nuzlocke, because Nuzlocks are more popular than just Pokemon playthroughs. Also, I would have to make that my life and my focus instead of just a thing I do now and again. Like that would have to be like every Tuesday I play Pokemon games or something like that, because that's just not going to work otherwise. But again, I'm not doing that to just... I'm not playing game. I'm playing games because way back when I decided that I wanted to play some games on Tuesdays and not just build model kits, that I wanted to do some gaming streams because I thought that would be fun. Some bonus streams, that's why I call them bonus streams, because I wanted to stream more, but I did not have the funds at the time or the desire really to build model kits 4 times a week. So I didn't build model kits 4 times a week, and the idea was that I would just jump in now and again and do something else, or like play like Jackbox, because that made me happy to play Jackbox with the community and various things like that. And then it has never been about like, oh, making that my primary focus. Is just something I like. Nick Nick from Kind of Funny did a Nuzlocke with Pokemon Fire Red. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I don't personally enjoy Nuzlocks because I grow attached to my Pokemon, and the idea of that a random chance critical hit means I don't get my Charizard anymore. I understand that's the point of a Nuzlocke, and I get it, and I understand why people like that risk reward or that those stakes, because regular Pokemon is not enough for them. They need some stakes. I totally understand that line of thinking. It's just not my style. That's why when I do a randomizer, it is not a Nuzlocke, because I like my Pokemon. Like, I'll trade them away, and I'll put them in, put them away if I don't want to use up certain Pokemon anymore. And I do also understand that some people, Nuzlocks means that they play a wide variety of Pokemon. They're forced to not just pick 6 they like and keep with them. And I have found that myself, that in my Pokemon playthroughs, my randomizer playthroughs, I end up with a lot of the Pokemon I started with. But I don't find that to be a deal breaker. Downtown says, I literally don't know what the word Nuzlocke was until I watched that. Didn't know it, really realized it existed. Oh, yeah. The Nuzlocke community is, I would say, that when a new Pokemon game comes out, you're going to see a lot of people streaming the new Pokemon game, right? Any new Pokemon game, there are going to be a bunch of people streaming that. But as those games they existed for a while, people have watched them. The people that play Pokemon a lot on streaming and their own time and video series and all that, they end up going back to Nuzlocks because that is content that you could just play, whatever. Also, people like fan games, and I've never streamed a Pokemon fan game. I have played some of them, not recently, but I have played some. But I've never streamed a Pokemon fan game, and I might do that someday. But part of what I like doing is playing old Pokemon games that I really loved, and playing them again. This time like with random ass Pokemon. But yeah, I think that Nuzlocke is where a lot of the community enjoys themselves. Yes, because it adds stakes, and that can make it more watchable for people that are also really into Pokemon. Old Pokemon games are definitely fun. And I think like the fan game stuff can be really fun, and I understand why some people really like fan games, and that becomes the thing they really go for. I totally get that, why that is something that people also are super into, because it's a slight change on an old favorite. So I totally get that. All right, let's clean this this wing here. This will be pretty easy. I'm just kind of picking some stuff that's like fairly straightforward that I can get without having to climb a ladder. But we will climb ladders if we have to. In fact, I'll probably do Pokemon Black Randomizer next week. I haven't decided what I'm doing next week. Although maybe the demos will be out next week. I don't know. If all the demos are out for my second stream of the month, which is the Patreon's Choice, then I can make that a Patreon's Choice. Because that's always fun. Somebody did ask me if I was going to do another stream where I watch old wrestling, because it's been quite some time. We didn't replace it, but the WWE 2K24 has kind of been my focus when it comes to wrestling content on Tuesdays, and not doing old wrestling stuff. That is going to come back as part of the subathon. That will be a unlock tier subathon. I'm not sure exactly what the content will be. It might be a mixed bag. It might be another showcase where, like, I'm going to show a bunch of matches of a wrestler that I really like. That might end up being what happens there. We might just literally do a tribute to Aja Kong, because Aja rules. And I have a lot of Aja Kong matches that we could watch. But that'll be part of the subathon on June 21st, which is it. That isn't my birthday, but that is my birthday stream. We'll be doing Friday, June 21st, I should say. The subathon will be that day. And if you're not familiar with the subathon, it's very straightforward. It is literally just me trying to get as many subs as I can, and there are different rewards that unlock as incentives. Okay, we hit 80%, which means we get a data recording. Okay, so we have been getting some data recordings that have been details have been omitted, because that is a thing that happens in Warhammer with them. So now we're getting this unauthorized recording. So this shouldn't be edited. So now we're going to find out what happened at this battle. I assume a lot of fucking people died, is my guess. Oh, this is Private Bulk, who apparently did some wild shit in this battle. Oh, no, it's still redacted. This is the guy, everyone thought that they were done, and somebody commandeered a tank. And so this person went on a suicide mission. But we still don't know what they were attacking, because it's been redacted. I thought maybe we would finally get a non-redacted bit of business. Redacted, irrelevant. Oof. 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 I'm saving that. Impact in 5 seconds. Mark my final words. Redacted, irrelevant. That is rough. That's a rough bit of business, everybody. I do find this game therapeutic. The idea of washing something. Number go up. Cleaning gets done. Things happen. But I did want to I want to save that, because that's an oof right there. That's very Warhammer. Yes, I love numbers go up. I'm not an idle game person, thank God. But like, it is something that I do enjoy. Is number going up, progress being made, things getting done. Oh, you're a huge idle game person. I found amusing the game evolved from cleaning simple dirt off of houses and vehicles to cleaning war crimes off of aircrafts. Yes. So the thing is, I said this earlier in the stream, and I'll repeat it because it bears repeating. PowerWash Simulator starts off very normal, but the regular game also gets weird. the regular game is still buck wild in some places. It still goes, you still wash some real weird things, especially towards the end of it. It just gets fucking weird. So even this, like we talked about it, has like, okay, yeah, Laura Croft's mansion has stuff that needs to get cleaned. Sure, that makes sense in this world. Because also, part of this world was me washing Santa's workshop. In the world of PowerWash Simulator, Santa is real, the workshop is real, and the elves got real drunk and messed it up. And so we had to clean Santa's workshop. And then also, we also got jobs cleaning up in fucking SpongeBob's hometown. So whatever. It's like, yeah, sure. All of that is real. All of that is canon. It's all working there. Yes. But we cleaned Santa's workshop. That is just a thing that has happened in the regular game. And then also, like, cleaned up a skate park. Yeah, I don't know if Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a tooth fairy in this one, but if he is, you know, sure. SpongeBob is real, but what was I gonna say there? Oh, Back to the Future is a movie franchise in this world, but also the DeLorean works. Even though it is a movie franchise, the DeLorean does actually time travel. They made a prop too good. All right, let's clean this up. Try to get this thing cleaned here. We did. Hey, we made it up to 81% so far here, and we got some time left on the stream, so we've been making some progress on this thing and thing. All right, great. We got the emblem done. Just cleaning a bunch of stuff, you know. What kind of sick universe is a sim? I mean, if all of the sim games, because obviously they're made by vast different people, but if there was a world where every simulator game, like if you thought about that, if you thought that like all of these kind of games exist in the same universe, that would be kind of interesting. If PC Builder and Farming Simulator were the same universe, and this game and Mech Simulator, the Mech Mechanic Simulator game, which is, I fucking wish that Mech Mechanic was a better game, because that game, it's repairing mechs, and I hate that I didn't like it, because it's a game made for me. I should have loved that game. I wish they had made a game I liked more. Oh, so frustrating. Or House Flipper. All those games are in the same universe. That's kind of fun to think about. But also I guess Goat Simulator would be part of that world, and that makes that world untenable and a nightmare. If Goat Simulator is part of that universe, that's a big problem. Goat Simulator is in Payday 2. You know what? Sure. I would believe almost anything you told me about Payday 2, because I know almost nothing about the Payday franchise. Power washing is kind of cool. I mean, a lot of the simulator games. So right, if we were gonna go, and if we were gonna do the research and talk about the history of these kinds of games and how they got well known and well regarded. Simulator games began in Japanese arcades as wish fulfillment for a population in a country that, not exclusively, but at the time of the rise of video games and arcades, had a culture of not necessarily having any influence over what kind of job that you got and what kind of career you pursued. And certainly that has changed dramatically over the decades. But part of the appeal of simulators were to make them as close to reality as possible, because the idea was like, well, I'll never be a construction worker, but if I can ride a backhoe in an arcade, then that's some wish fulfillment of mine. I'm never going to be able to use a forklift in my job, so I'm going to do this thing. So that's kind of where they rose in popularity in Japan. And then in America, it never super took off until in the PC world. Honestly, the two big ones were Farming Simulator, because they were so meticulous. I should say the three big ones: Farming Simulator, trucking sim games in general as a subgenre. The trucking sim became very popular, and train simulators, because guess what? And there's one other simulator I should mention that was very popular in America and is very specific and popular. Folks that love trains don't necessarily play video games. That crossover is not like, it's not that diagram is not a huge crossover, but there is appreciation within the train community for video games about trains. Like that is a popular thing. Now, the simulator that did very well in America, in the United States, that was very popular for many years, was flight simulators. Flight simulators took hold. Maybe it was the equipment you could buy. Maybe it was the fact that early Microsoft flight simulators and the like became very popular with the CB community, because the CB community has a lot of people going for their pilot's licenses as well. Because there were air traffic. There are people that like cosplayed as air traffic folks for flight simulators for many decades. My great uncle, may he rest in peace, who was he was a pilot in the military and retired early from the military. Was a pharmacist. Was a good one. Enjoyed being a pharmacist. He had a computer. That computer was not for his work. He had people that use computers for work. His computer was for Flight Simulator. And it was an old computer because they didn't make new ones. But he wanted to play Microsoft Flight Simulator, and he wanted to fly Cessnas. That's all he wanted to fly was Cessnas. Wish fulfillment to being a pilot without actually dying. Yeah. So that's the big simulator, because there are obviously like Sim City and that kind of a thing. Like city builders are a thing, and you can say like even The Sims is a simulation, but I'm talking about like job simulators. The flight simulator, it was the big one in the United States that took hold, whereas all kinds of industries and jobs took hold, and then eventually Guitar Freaks, begot Guitar Hero, begot Rock Band, and that was like music simulator stuff that certainly became popular, and Guitar Freaks and Drum Freaks that were liked a lot. Japan, for a little while, went real crazy for Drum Freaks. Drum Freaks, when it came out in the United States, did not license great music. Also, Taito drums are still popular in Japanese arcades. You can still do some Taito drum machines there. Big fake drums, which is very fun. And because that is still a popular thing. But Rocksmith. I know some people still use that. And then yes, Rubric. That is a category that I didn't mention. Is racing sims. Racing sims is certainly, as they started increasing the realism of that certainly became a subgenre of, or a genre of video games that became incredibly popular. So much so that I bet there are people that play racing games, like hardcore racing games, that don't consider them like in the same breath as they would consider like Farming Simulator or something like that, or this game, PowerWash Simulator. They wouldn't consider them to be in the same kind of category as a simulator, because those are racing games. Those are realistic racers. Yes, they had a period during lockdown where they had drivers playing the games, and they went into iRacing and did the eye tracking stuff and all of that. Yes, there were times where those games, people were playing those games. I mean, in the same way that like there are a lot of football players that grew up playing Madden that might not even consider themselves to be gamers, but they love football, and so they played the football video game, and now they play football, and then also play football. Like, yeah, not every professional wrestler played wrestling games, but a lot of them did. A lot of them played wrestling games because that was the video game of the thing they liked, so they played that. Those kind of games like hit people. There is a anime out right now whose name I cannot remember, and it literally is the plot of that Gran Turismo movie. It is a girl who is very good at racing a racing video game, and so she gets hired to be the racer in a real racing thing, and she has never driven before, and also seems to like not quite understand the rules for plot reasons. It seems to be fucking terrible as a show, and they actually, the entire first episode, they don't introduce any of the characters or say any of their names. It's all about it's just a one long race with commentators talking about the race but not the characters. It seems incredibly bad. But I was fascinated by the idea of, they're just making that a thing where they're like, yeah, this anime's premise is a girl got good at the video game, so they made her a real driver. In F1, Max Verstappen went from taking pole in a race to playing a 24-hour endurance race online with his team on the same day. Nice. And of course, there's a story of the guy that was basically rubbing his racing, with like the idea of being inspired by racing video games. And then they were like, hey, you can't do that. You can't do this stuff. You can't do this stuff you saw in a video game. I can't remember who that was exactly. I don't remember the full story, but I do remember that being like, oh, cool. And then a lot of the comments being like, but it's cool though. Gotta let the people do cool stuff. No, so downtown CM Brown. Initial D whips ass. Initial D is an older anime that is very, very fucking good. Initial D was a 2000s anime about downhill racing. The D does not stand for deja vu. Initial D is incredible. Initial D is an anime that maybe it was the 90s. It must have been the 90s when it first started, or at least the manga did. That was a show where people I know who never watched a single anime watched it because they loved cars, because it got street racing. There was Rubik. The Gran Turismo movie plot is the same kind of plot as as this anime whose name I cannot remember, and I apologize for, that is out this season. That is car racing. The Gran Turismo movie was like, the premise was like a guy who was very good at Gran Turismo becomes a real car racer man, and people are psyched about that, and then also people are unhappy about that, which is apparently based on a true story, which is great. I find that to be fascinating and fun. I love that that's based on a true story. That is silly. Hey, we just got raided by Lunar Jade. Thank you so much, Heather. Appreciate that. Welcome, raiders. Hello. Happy to have you here. I'm Pat Bear. I build model kits traditionally. That's and Lego sets. That's what I primarily do on my streams. But on Tuesdays, I do something different. In this case, it's PowerWash Simulator. And this is the Warhammer 40K DLC. We are working on the Thunderhawk here. This is the final thing. It is a huge bit of nonsense that we are cleaning. It was very dirty. We're currently 85%. If you haven't checked out PowerWash Simulator, it's what it says. There are vehicles and locations, generally exteriors, occasionally interiors, and things. For whatever reason, the developers of this game had a loose plot, and to it, they crafted a story about the things that you are cleaning and the stories that are being told. The DLCs are kind of non-canon. You are not the same power washer that you are in other things. In this particular DLC, because I also don't know a ton about 40K, but you are, you're part of the techno religion here, and you've been tasked with cleaning artifacts and holy relics, which again are of course just vehicles that they use to destroy things. But there's religious elements to it. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. They recently hit the 3-year anniversary since early access. Yes, I have been playing this game since early access. I have seen changes to how it's been, how things have been laid out, and changing of like equipment unlocks and money and how you get paid to, for jobs and all that. I have played all of the DLC, paid and free. It has been a fun time. I always come back to PowerWash Simulator. This DLC came out a while ago. I just never completed it and realized, hey, I never completed the DLC for this, and I kind of just want to. Yes, I'm power washing missiles. This was one of the first things we realized at one point in PowerWash Simulator that was very strange and fun. Was we washed an old-timey car, and I just got on the roof of this. I stood on the canvas roof of this old car and power washed it from the top, and that's nonsense. And it was like, okay, yeah, rules don't apply. Do whatever you need to do. You have an unlimited supply of water. You don't damage anything with the water. You're just gonna clean stuff and move on. Sometimes there are gnomes hidden in the levels, and you can hit those with water. But yeah, we're power washing missiles on an assault ship, and doing a pretty good job. We're almost at 90% of this job. We started at like 62% or something tonight, so we're doing pretty good. But yeah, if you would like to hit the follow button, if you came in from Heather's stream, please do. I build model kits and Lego sets traditionally. We talk about anime and wrestling and video games while I'm building kits. You don't have to be super into model kits, I think, to enjoy those streams. But if you are a model kit builder, Or if you are someone that like loves model kit building and you do not have the time to do it, I know there are a few folks that live vicariously through me on streams, which is fun. I think like real fun, and I always appreciate that when folks are they're like, yeah, I don't have time for Lego anymore, so I'll just watch you build some Lego City stuff. Oh, you're building a spaceship? Cool. That kind of thing. Because I build a lot of model kits. I do have the tip thing here. That's just because I had some real big expenses come up, some real gnarly expenses, and that has kind of drained the old account. And that is obviously optional, but if you would like to, you could. I think it's more you have no space for Lego. Yeah, I don't display a lot of Lego in the home because I build model kits and Lego sets to stream me building them, right? So Lego, what I end up doing is I have a few pieces here and there that are on display. Like this is my desk buddy. This is from a Jurassic Park Lego set. This is the pile of poop where they found the particular thing that made the Stegosaurus sick, and I made a giant Lego mound of poop by following instructions on how to make it, and I find that to be hilarious, so I kept that. That's with me. But I have a few Lego sets that are on display in the house here. Most Lego ends up, for me, getting broken down and put in boxes and then mailed. The United States has a program called Lego Replay, where you can donate Lego to the Lego company, and they will clean all the Lego, and then they will distribute that Lego to folks in need, to kids. And that is lovely. It's also tax deductible, which is nice. But mostly it's just lovely, and it's a way to get rid of Lego stuff. Occasionally I will build something, and a friend of mine will go, Pat, can I have that when you're done? And then they will pay for shipping, and I will mail them a Lego set, and they will deconstruct that Lego set and build it. I have had a couple people, one friend of mine who enjoys doing that. As far as model kits, I used to have a friend that would buy old model kits from me because he would use them in projects. He is on a long break for model kits, so the ones I really like, I often have a display of some of the ones I really like during streams, and then a lot of them also just get recycled because I do not have room for all of the many kits that I have built. And then I have a storage unit in New York with some Lego and some model kits that I kept because they have sentimental value, or they're just cool as hell. But yeah, I have donated a lot of Lego over the past few years because that is a thing I can do. It's a small thing I can do that helps people. So nice that I can do that. All right, let's try to get on this wing and see if we can fix this wing up. With that, climb up here. All right, the main wing is almost done. I don't know what else needs to get done. I bet the part of the wing that I need to do is like this side here. It's probably this. Okay, so I can't do that from here. I'll need to get the scaffolding over, probably. Oh, maybe I can do it. Ooh, yeah. All right. So I'm going to fall if I go too far back here. But if I do this, and we switch to the long extension pole. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the wing tip. That's not even the wing. That isn't even the wing. This is the wing tip. Oh, okay, we finished the wing tip. So is that part of the wing? That is part of the wing. Okay, so that's not part of the wing. That's the mount. This is part of the wing here. So if I get all this done, we can maybe get this wing taken care of. There you go. We finished the wing. Great. We're at 90% of the job. That's awesome. Then we can go and maybe we can do the top wing here. Go do that. I do not think I am going to finish this tonight on this stream, but we will get a lot of it done. I just realized I hadn't finished this thing and kind of wanted to, so we're doing that now. Let's see, we'll go there. But I have like 3 boxes under my bed full of model kits and Lego sets because and model kits that are model kits that are not Gundam stuff, but are still things that I want to build. All right, let's try to get this wing lowered. Why can't I? There. Where are you? Where are you? I need to lower this wing, but I have to... There it is. I did it that way. It worked. Okay, so you're into wrestling, says Downtown. I gotta ask, do you find the AEW pay-per-views to be extremely too long, or am I just old? Laugh out loud. So, my short answer is yes. AEW does... Their pay-per-views are way too long. Especially... You could understand in a world when they first started, right? They were only going to do like 2 or 3 a year, right? So they had their big events, and then they're going to do TV that felt like a big deal. You know, they're going to have their specials like Grand Slam and stuff like that, as just one example. But the main thing was going to be there are only like 3 pay-per-views a year. And you know, as they grew and more people became part of the company, you want to fit in your big storylines. They got so many belts. They want to showcase as many of the belts as possible. Yada, yada, yada. I understand. That's not the case now. They're doing like 8 pay-per-views a year now. Like, there's no excuse for the shows to be that long. And so you started seeing a thing where you'd be like, okay, well, there are 4 shows a year, but... You know, it's going to be long, and also some of the matches are going to be longer, and we're going to do like 4 quick matches in the pre-show and do all that. This time around, there were only 2 matches in the pre-show, which is fine. And then the regular show was so long. And it doesn't help that WWE has started doing a thing, which I think is actually kind of cool, where they're B-tier shows. They're not big, not their big ones, but they're like, yeah, this show is like good, like Backlash. It's like Backlash had like 5 matches on the card, and the matches were long, and the bits in between were whatever, but they were good matches. They just, you know, like they're not, because WWE is doing, I think they might be doing like 18 shows this year. Because I think there are a couple times where they're going to do more than 1 pay-per-view a month. But some of those shows are just smaller. They're just smaller stakes with like a smaller card. And then they're big shows. Like next year, SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights. WrestleMania is 2 nights. Like, that makes total sense. SummerSlam will probably be long because it'll be one of the big shows. Money in the Bank will have like 2 long matches and then a couple other ones that are just like whatever length, and it'll be fine and work out. You're saying the Triple... Yes, I got very tired. Like, basically, like as soon as the Willow and Mercedes video package started, I was just like, oh God, this is a lot of goddamn show. This is like a ton of show. And I liked it. I liked that pay-per-view. But, boy, it was a lot. It was just the thing where when you get to it and you're just like, there's still 3 matches left, and like one of them is going to be a bloody nonsense thing, and that's fine, but like one of them will be like a decent length because it's the world title. The other one will be a decent length because it's a woman they spent a lot of money to hire and really rolled out the red carpet for her. And look, in my opinion, they didn't have 3 main events. They had two matches that meant a lot and a main event. Saying you have 3 main events is a cop-out. But if I am going by the letter of the law, AEW, for the first time in their history, had 2 women in their main event. One of 3 main events. but that is still the first time in their 5 years as a company that they have done that. That is still very cool and makes a lot of sense. Even if that match I knew, like there was no chance that Willow was going to win. It was still a great match, but also felt like, on a different card, this could have been the main event, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, if Swerve was in a tag match and not in a singles match or something, if Swerve had been in Anarchy in the Arena instead of having a world title defense, like, maybe I could see it, but, like, saying all three of those matches were in the main event felt very weird. Yes, as an East Coast person, I agree. It was like a lot when you're hitting after midnight on a show where the pre-show started at 6:30 p.m. And you're a completionist, so you're watching with people. I understand West Coast people. Hey, West Coast people probably don't even see a lot of the pre-show because they're still coming back from things. But as an East Coast person, that's too goddamn late. That's just too goddamn late for a show where there were a couple matches on that card that could have been main events on Dynamite or Collision, and it would have been fine. Like, even the match with the number one contender, or the eliminator match for the IWGP title, could have been a Dynamite main event. Yes, the trios match didn't need to be added. That could have been cut. Jericho's match feels like it was going to be there no matter what, because it was the 5-year. It's the 5-year anniversary of Double or Nothing, so you probably have Chris Jericho on the card, and that makes sense to me. Same thing with, kind of a little bit the same thing with Moxley, since some of the other people from the beginning are not with the company anymore or injured right now. I kind of get the idea of doing that and going with that. Like, I get it. I don't love it, but I get it. Why they did what they did. But yeah, the length was just too much show. Like, I had a friend of mine being like, all right, so now let's get some snacks, and then there's the press conference. And I was like, fuck that. I might not be going to bed right now, but I'm definitely not watching a press conference after all that wrestling. Hell, there was a show this weekend I didn't even see yet. I didn't see the DDT show from this weekend. It was the King of DDT tournament, semifinals and finals. And that tournament has been great, and I really like DDT. I'm watching that tomorrow after Dynamite because I just was not in the mood to watch a 3-hour wrestling show. I'm probably not going to watch all 3 hours at once, but I'm going to watch the semifinals and the finals tomorrow night because I just haven't seen it yet. Yes, when WrestleMania was one night, but they wanted to get a lot of people on the card, you ended up with incredibly long shows. And it was very frustrating. Let's see if we can finish this wing. The mount we can probably finish, but let's see if we can get this wing done. Can I? Okay, I can't. It gives me the thing to lift the wing up, but for whatever reason, there it is. I'm in a spot where I couldn't lift the wing, and I don't know why. Oh, there's the part of the wing that I need to get. I got to do this part here. I have more. Oh, yeah, and then the laser cannon needs to get power washed. That's a fun thing that I just said. It's fun to remember that. I just said the laser cannon needs to get power washed. That's just like, that is a silly thing that I just said that is also true and what I am doing. I am now doing the thing that is silly, which is I am power washing the laser cannon because the laser cannon is filthy. So I gotta power wash the laser cannon. Yeah, I would say that I don't mind a short wrestling show. I watch a lot of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling has a weekly show that they do, and those weekly shows are about an hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours. It's all wrestling. There's no backstage interviews during those shows. It's all just the wrestling of it. It's the in-ring. Occasionally there are bits, but more often than not, there aren't any bits, and it's just the matches. And it starts with a song, a performance by an idol group, and then there's wrestling, and then they get out of there. And then, like next week, they're going to do longer shows. They have some bigger event shows that they're pricier if you want to see it live, and they're longer because it's going to be, they don't do a title defense on a regular show unless they need to. It's an outside belt. Sometimes they'll do it, but traditionally they don't do a regular title belt match for one of their 3 titles. They don't do it on just a regular old show. But that's when you're going to see them on their bigger shows. The main events are going to be longer and more focused. And that's kind of how they operate. And I love that. I love that, like, oh, it's Sunday. I want to catch up on Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Oh, good. I'm just going to watch this an hour and 45 minute show where, like, it doesn't kind of matter what's happening there, and it'll be some cool stories, and it'll be mostly just like a fun show to watch. But Prism is coming up, which is a named show, so you know it's good. So I got to check that out. I don't know. I think that is a fun way to approach an organization like that. That's not for everybody. Some people, they're like, no, I fell far too much. I like this thing. I need 9 hours of it a week, and if they aren't going to give that to me, then I'm gonna find a different brand of wrestling to watch. And it's just like, that is too much. Sometimes there's just too much wrestling. Yes, Downtown. If you are watching all of WWE and you are watching all of AEW, it is hard to have outside things. I pay attention to WWE, but I only watch SmackDown because the 3-hour block of SmackDown and Rampage is hangout time with some of my friends. We are in a Discord together while those wrestling shows are happening, but I don't watch Raw. I watch segments of what happened on Raw, but I don't watch the whole thing. Oh, we finished the attack. Okay, but the mount isn't done yet, so we can do the mount. And I watch... Sometimes I watch like NXT, like their named events, but I don't watch it week to week. I used to watch NXT. NXT used to be the only thing that I watched for WWE. There was a period because so many wrestlers that I knew from the indie scene, there was that generation where they were all in NXT. And so I watched that because it was my cruise. The many indie people that I loved were all there. Oh, we finished that. Great. All right, we finished the main wing. The air brake isn't done. Main engine, we can do this. I don't even know where the air brake is, but rear armor. We got some more stuff to clean here, so we'll clean a little bit more. But yeah, I just, there's just so much wrestling to watch in a week. But I do like watching Joshi because Japanese wrestling is one of my first loves. It was the women that came over from Japan to work for WWF at the time and WCW at the time when I got really into wrestling. Again, I'd been as a kid and kind of got out of it, then got back as a teen because I was there for the height of the Attitude Era and the NWO. All that. I was watching all of that as it happened. And so eventually seeing a lot of great Japanese wrestling and starting to get into ECW and a lot of indie stuff around me. I was naturally interested in Japanese wrestling, and then so I started getting a lot of tapes and fell in love with women's wrestling in Japan. And now the fact that I can subscribe to a service like Wrestle Universe and I get Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and DDT, a company that I've always been a huge fan of, DDT. the illustrious career of being a real-ass wrestling promotion that does not take itself particularly seriously, except when it does. And it's great when it does, and it's great when it doesn't take itself seriously. But yeah, as a company that I really like, the fact that I can watch those. I don't even watch Pro Wrestling Noah all that often. I get it. It's part of Wrestle Universe, but I'm not like dying to watch that. I turn on some other stuff now and again, like some Michinoku stuff, Michinoku Pro stuff, because they're not really that active, but they have some stuff on there now. And some Sendai Girls stuff is just starting to show up, although the archives aren't up, but some of the newer stuff for Sendai Girls is up there on Wrestle Universe, so... You know, I'm trying to watch a bunch of that stuff. This laser cannon still is dirty, everybody. I gotta finish this laser cannon. So yeah, I watch too many hours of wrestling. But I do like it. And sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I don't like what they're doing. I'm not thrilled with it, but a lot of times, really like it. Alright, I don't know if I can get... I don't know what part of this laser cannon I haven't washed yet, so I gotta... Let's lower this thing. Can I get over here? Yep. There. Whoa. Where are you? I'll go from here. Let's see if I can... See... Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's do the very long extension and see if I can get in... Finish this goddamn laser cannon. All right, I can't reach that, so I got to lower this. All right, so then let's see if I go low here. Ah, there's some stuff. And then hit the stubby. Go all the way down. There we go. There's some stuff that needs cleaning on this thing. And then I just have to see if I can find the right angle to clean it, because I can see where it is. Oh, yeah. Yes, the flamethrower spot, Jack Perry getting lit on fire. I honestly thought it was going to be Darby. I really did think that Darby Allin was going to get set on fire, because I thought the fact that he had a flamethrower on Wednesday meant that he was going to get set on fire on Sunday. But no, he was the man lighting people on fire. And Jack Perry got fucking lit on fire. Luke Perry's son was lit on fire in AEW. That is a true statement that I have just said out loud. Yes, then Darby got hung upside down for a very long time. So much so that the crowd was like, help. Bryan Danielson came into the ring to beat up people, and the crowd cheered, and then he kept beating people up, and then the crowd was just like, hey, what if you let down the guy that's hanging upside down? What if you helped Darby out? Like, you seem really, like, yes, you do need to win this match. You do need to beat people up, but, like, what if you did it? What if you helped the guy? Like, that guy's there. You could probably help him a little bit. And I appreciate the crowd was like, what are we doing here? All right. I don't think we're going to get this part of the wing done here, but... So we are at 93% of this job completed, which is good. Very good. A lot of work happened here tonight. We did a lot of good work here tonight, everybody. And I will finish this up on my own time in the future, which is not now, but will happen someday. Someday, I'll finish this job, but it won't be tonight. And that is going to do it for PowerWash Simulator, the 40K expansion. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Once again, the completely optional, you don't have to even think about this, pretend I didn't say anything, bit of the tip jar is available if you are so inclined. Obviously, that's optional. You don't have to worry about that. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. much like we got raided by Lunar Jade, we must raid. We must find somebody doing cool shit out there, and we must go and give them some love and hang out with them, because we always end with a raid, as John says. So let's see. Who is streaming right now? Okay, let's see. What is he doing? Let's see. Arthur Geese, who was on Jeff Gersman's podcast today. If you haven't checked that out, Arthur was on the Gersman podcast. He is doing a just chatting, and then he is probably going to play some Hollow Knight. So we are going to go hang out with Arthur, who is awesome. We'll go give Arthur a little bit of love. So I hope you come along on this raid. Well, thank you for hanging out. And again, folks, if you want to hit the follow button, please do. If you want to hang out with me on Thursday as I play some build some model kits, I am starting a new model kit on Thursday. The F91. We'll begin that stream. Our Thursday, we'll begin the building on that on Thursday. Feel free to come along on this raid. We're going to go hang out with Arthur as he talks about some gaming stuff ahead of Summer Game Fest. And then also going to play some Hollow Knight. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.